Hey guys, this is Sonali, the Melodramatic Bookworm. Welcome back to my channel. I make book related videos on this channel and occasionally a few travel related videos as well. So if you like what you see on my channel and if you'd like to keep up with my content, then please do hit subscribe and click on the bell icon so that you can stay updated with my videos. Hearing your thoughts and interacting with you is one of my favorite things to do. So if you would like to say anything, then don't forget to drop by in the comment section and I look forward to chat with you. I'm here today with my December 2019 wrap up. I had originally wanted to read a lot of books like I do every single month, and then I end up not reading those books and I end up picking up a lot of random books. I'd wanted to read a completely different set of books, but then I ended up reading something else altogether. But still, I ended up reading 11 books and started 2 more, and I brought those 2 into the new year, and I did not want to bring books from 2019 into 2020, but that's exactly what happened. So without further ado, let's get into this video and let me share with you the books that I read in December 2019, the last month of 2019. It's 2020. My first read of December 2019 was The Kiss Quotient by Helen Hoang. This is the story of Stella Lane, who is autistic and who has trouble connecting with people. So what she does is she hires Michael, who is an escort, so that she can learn the nuances of relationships from him. But what happens when something that she has not accounted for happens forms the entire story. How she deals with it, how Michael deals with it, they're coming together, how it ends up for the both of them. That's the entire book. See, I enjoyed the book to a certain extent, but it was really not what I was expecting. And I'm not saying that in a bad way, but in some places I went, oh wow. And then in some places I was like, oh, that's so sweet. And then I was like, get on with it, just tell me the story already. And then I'm like, no, what is... But even though I felt this whole plethora of emotions, I was not very wowed by it, though I enjoyed it. It was a fun one-time read, I felt like. I gave The Kiss Quotient 3.5 out of 5 stars. My second read for December 2019 was Educated by Tara Westover. This is the author's memoir on being born a Mormon and in a family of survivalists. Her father was one who thought that the apocalypse was near every single month, every single year, and they sort of stockpiled everything. They had food stocked away, thousands and thousands of pickled things and jars and everything, and the father was sort of anti-school, anti-hospital. He actively discouraged, going to the hospital, and sometimes even caused accidents to happen to his own children, and he didn't think much of it. And for that, I felt such an anger towards him that I just wanted to get into the book and defend the author. I know that's a little bit absurd, but then again their behavior was absurd. So I felt, I was so angry. I'm still angry. The mere memory of it angers me to no end. And then finally at one point the author decides to educate herself, and then the family, because of their thought process, I don't know how their brains work, but they sort of cut her out of the family because she refuses to come back to them, and she wants to study, she wants to be in the civilized world, and they literally treated women as servants of men. But the whole memoir is so heartbreaking. It made its way onto my top 19 books of 2019, and I absolutely loved it. The author has written everything so matter-of-factly, and that is what makes it even more heartbreaking, that the author can actually look back at the past and recollect all of this and write it down in such a manner. And I loved this book. It's a full 5 out of 5 stars to Educated for me. My third read of December 2019 was The Flatshare by Beth O'Leary. This is a story of 2 people who are sharing a flat. One lives there in the morning and one lives there in the night due to their work shifts. And what happens when their lives collide, and will they be able to stay away from each other, forms the entire story. I enjoyed reading this book because of how fun it was, but it was not the best kind of rom-com that there is. But I must say that some representations are very well done. The book talks about emotional abuse in a relationship, and it's really not what you think, but it's also what you think, and I'm making a bad job of it. But there is a good explanation for how it works, and the realization that one of the protagonists comes to is a really good way to demonstrate how abuse works. I wouldn't say that this is one of the best books out there, but it is quite an enjoyable read, and I feel like if you are looking for a light read on a lazy evening, then this is one you could pick up. I give The Flatshare 3.75 out of 5 stars. My next read for December was The Incendiaries by Aruk Kwan. I was really excited to read this, which is why I went skipping and I bought it. But when I started reading this, I found that there's no punctuation, there's no grammar, like the sentences are mixed in with the paragraphs, and we have to find out for ourselves who is speaking what. There's no room for proper interpretation as to who is talking what, and that is not the kind of storytelling that I am looking for. It annoyed me to no end, especially because it tries to be poetic but it comes across as irritating. I don't even remember properly what this is about, but let me try. This is about two people who are in love. One of them joins a cult, and this cult is against abortion and all that jizz, and they hold protest marches and all that. And then the other protagonist finds out that the first one was probably responsible in the blowing up of a church or something. Like, I get the concept and I get the importance of the concept, but this is not how you implement it, and I did not like this one bit. I would not recommend this book, especially because of how bad the punctuation, the grammar, my god, it's just my god. I gave this book 2 out of 5 stars. My next read for December 2019 was On Women by Khushwant Singh. Khushwant Singh is one of the most celebrated authors in India, but reading this book, I didn't know what to say. This is a collection of anecdotes that he tells about his interaction with a number of women across the country, and I found that I am not a big fan of his narration. I mean, yes, it's easy to read, it's easy breezy, light and all that, especially to an Indian. Some places are so relatable, especially when he's talking about places that you've already been to. But otherwise, I found that it was even crass in some places. I feel bad for saying it, but it did feel that way. Though since I read it in a couple of hours on a flight, I was like, okay, I ticked one book off my TBR, so that's that. I gave On Women 3 out of 5 stars. My next read of December 2019 was Small Fry by Lisa Brennan Jobs. Lisa Brennan Jobs is the daughter of Steve Jobs and Chrisanne Brennan, and this memoir is about her life and how she saw her father in her life. But I usually don't try to say anything negative about a memoir because it's a person's life we are talking about and I am no one to judge. But this felt so repetitive. It did not feel like I was reading about Lisa's life. I want to know what your thoughts are, what you were going through. I don't want to know how the sunlight was slanting in through the windows or how the birds are flying or how the geckos are chirping and all that. I don't want to know all of that. The information that she's giving out in the book is completely disconnected, and it was unnecessary. Many of those pieces of information were unnecessary, and then she repeats all over again, over and over and over again, that even though her father was not there for her, he loved her and she loved him. And we know that because family is such, but repeating it so many times sort of irritates me. And everything in the book revolved around her father, which is fine because he was a celebrity and all, but we want to know your thoughts about him. He came, he went, he came, he went. What did you feel when he was there? Tell me that. But in the end, it does throw some light on her life as being the daughter of a man as mercurial as Steve Jobs. And since it's a memoir, I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. My next read for December 2019 was I've Got Your Number by Sophie Kinsella. This is a very fun read. I loved it. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. But this is the story of Poppy, who at a charity function or ball, she is with her girlfriends and she loses her engagement ring. She's supposed to get married in 10 days or so, and she has now lost her engagement ring. And someone steals her phone while she's talking. They just snatch them and go away. And then she finds a phone in a dustbin. And things turn topsy-turvy so fast, so bad. But maybe things turning so bad is a good thing for her because she realizes a lot of things and a lot of changes are coming over her. And will she accept those changes and will she implement them in her life? Will she let them stay, or will she discard them and go back to being the same old Poppy? Forms the entire story, and I love this book so much. I mean, Sophie Kinsella writes easy breezy reads, but they are also loaded because of the meaning that they have. And this is one book that is so fast paced that even before I was halfway through, I was riffling through I just wanted to finish it, and it was I think 3 or 3:30 in the night when I finished reading this, and I finally went to bed. It was that gripping. My next read for December 2019 was The Man Who Knew Too Much by G.K. Chesterton. I was very conflicted about this book, and the thing about it is very unmemorable. I don't remember a thing about what happened in here. The thing is, it is similar to Sherlock Holmes or Hercule Poirot, but it is without the brooding, the arrogance, the restlessness and everything. It is just filled with silence and that sense of foreboding that you have when you think that something wrong is about to happen. I had to listen to the audiobook as I read it, but even otherwise I don't remember a single thing that happened in here. It was that unmemorable, but while I read it, I was like, okay, it's good. So I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. My next read for December 2019 was No Ball by Chandramohan Pupala. I finally read this book, and thank you to Pan Macmillan India for sending it to me. This is the account of the match fixing that happened in the entirety of, you know, the cricketing world, and how people took it and what, like, it started from Hansi Cronje to the IPL fiascos and covered everything, and the author traces all the betting and match fixing and everything back to Dawood Ibrahim and how he controls the entire racket. And it was a very intriguing read for me. Like, I really enjoyed reading this book because of the amount of information that I got from it, like how match fixing works, where match fixing has been done, and who all are involved. And at the end of it all, I was like, okay, so nobody is a good guy in Indian cricket, really, or any country's cricket. And it broke my heart to a certain extent, because being an Indian, cricket is a huge part of my life, of our lives, and to see this go on, it was really devastating, I want to say, but it's such a heavy word, but it was sort of disappointing to read. But the author has done a good job of doing his research and then putting it into words, into a book, and I really enjoyed reading this. I gave No Ball 4 out of 5 stars. My next read for December was Fantastic, the Untold Story of Bollywood's Trio by Sanjukta Nandi. Thank you, Rupa Publications, for sending this book over to me. Sanjukta Nandi charts the journeys of the 3 most influential Khans in Bollywood, and from how they emerged, where they are at the moment, their equations with each other, and how they have secured a foothold in the industry in a manner that probably nobody else has. I did enjoy reading this book, but I did not like the way that the author glossed over the parts where a certain Khan is abusive and everything. If you're a Bollywood fan, and if you're a fan of the 3 Khans, any of them, then I would suggest you read this, because it's highly informative and it gives you insights into these actors' lives. I gave Fantastic 3.5 out of 5 stars. My 11th read of December 2019 was The Song of Vrindavan, the 4th in the Hastinapur series by Sharat Komaraju. This is the story of the legend of Krishna and his brother Balarama, and his equation with Radha. And the way Sharat Komaraju retells the epic of Mahabharata, this is another very intriguing read, because you see a lot of incidents from Krishna's lives happening here, and he gives explanations that they could have happened that way, and you're like, that's highly possible. And reading about Lord Krishna's life in Vrindavan and about his equation with Radha, what the role that Radha plays in Krishna's life, it's an amazing read, and I loved it. It's not for nothing that the Hastinapur series is one of my favorite series of all time. It's like just wonderful and amazing mythological retelling, and I would highly suggest that if you're a fan of mythological retellings, then you please pick this one up. It'll be worth it. I gave The Song of Vrindavan 4 stars out of 5. The thing is, I also started 2 other books, but I brought them into 2020 because I was not able to finish them by the end of last year. The books are Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan and The King of Mathura Part 1 Kamsa by Sharat Komaraj. That is the first part of the 5th part of the Hastinapur series by Sharat Komaraju, and I finished both of them, and I really enjoyed both of them. I'll talk more about it in my January 2020 wrap up. So those were the books that I read in December 2020. Which of these have you read? Which ones do you want to read? Which ones have you been reading since 2020 started? Which was your favorite book of 2019? Which one did you not like in 2019? Which was your favorite book of December 2019? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. If you'd like to buy any of these books, then please use my Amazon affiliate links in the description box below. The price remains the same for you, but I get a small commission off of every purchase that you make. So please help a creator out. If you like this video, please like it and share it to spread the word. And if you like my content and would like to see more from me, don't forget to hit subscribe and click on the bell icon beside the subscribe button to get notified as and when I post new videos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Until next time, keep reading, keep watching, and add melodrama to your life.